All right, we're here today to talk about. Fuck. All right, let's restart.
Okay.
We need to talk about the whale
We do need to talk about this.
immediately.
That was crazy.
Was it?
I felt like it was crazy.
It did?
It was like jaw dropping in moments.
In what way?
It was like so honest or something.
hmm I was gonna say my famous word, real.
I thought you were going to say authentic.
No, I say
Oh,
it
okay.
real in every podcast, but I'm gonna not say it this time.
Well,
But
you
I know
did.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it was so real.
God. Okay.
Let's start off with
Before
okay.
you want to start rating it,
Oh, what do you want to do before?
I wanted to say one thing before.
Okay.
You know what? No, I'm gonna save it. All
Okay.
right, we can start off with ratings. Do you want to go first?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's so hard because it's such a specific movie. Like,
Yeah.
it really is.
I know.
I want to say like anywhere between an 8.5 to 9,
Okay, so rate it.
anywhere in there, I feel like is safe for me. If I wasn't me, if I weren't, I'm not even speaking English anymore. So go ahead. What's your rating?
Okay. I would say almost the exact same thing. But since I'm just gonna give it like a final rating that I would give
Hmm.
it, I'll give it a 9.
Yeah, I would give it
There's
a
like a
9.
part of me that wants to just be an asshole and say 8.999,
That's
but
really
even
dramatic.
then it would round up to 9.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's okay. You don't know, for me, it had, I'm not going to say which movie, but there's another movie we saw not too long ago that gave me the same feeling. It had moments, several moments of brilliance,
Yeah.
and some, and I mean few, like very
Hmm.
few, but like, okay, no, like it didn't even have moments of it really being boring. It just was like, this is like the story. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a very simple, cut and dry to an
It's a
extent of a
week.
story.
It's 1 week.
Right. And okay, this is what I wanted to say before we rated it, is that I was thinking during it and when it ended that it gives a play. This looks like it would be just the fact that there's one setting, right? There
Hmm.
isn't even another one. And just like basically these people coming in and out in the script, it looks like a play. Like it
Yeah.
looks like a play that somebody made a movie.
Yeah.
And then when the credits like happened, it said based on the play.
Right.
So I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
And it also made sense to me that Darren Aronofsky did not write it
Mm-hmm. Why? What do you mean?
just because of his other movies.
Mm-hmm.
This was just really different.
Does he write his other ones? I think
I
he
don't
did write
know.
Mother. You have
It
my
feels
phone's
like
dead, so
he
you'd have to look it up.
it feels like he does because they're really specific and this was not that. And what do you think about like it said to blank and blank?
Charlotte and Ava, I think,
It
right?
was a male name, I think. I would have to look that up.
Hmm. Um, I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe it was his children's names. I don't know what his
His
children's names
children,
are, but I think he just
he
has
only
one
has
kid.
one child and his name is Henry.
Oh, well, I don't know. What did you
I
think?
don't know. I don't
Usually they
know.
dedicate it to a family member, so I
I
don't
feel
know.
like it was somebody who this story was gonna like.
Oh, but there's two people. Two,
I know. Is
Obese
that
people?
like a father-daughter, a friend?
I don't
I mean,
know.
who knows?
It yeah, who cares? No offense. No, I mean someone cares, but
Okay, he did write Mother.
yeah.
And let's see, Black Swan. I feel like he definitely wrote Requiem for a Dream,
Mm,
right?
I don't know. It's tough because some of them are like books and then like directors will just make it way better.
He didn't write S- Black Swan.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't write this. The story itself, it's heartbreaking, truly.
Did you cry?
I wanted to,
I
maybe like
wanted to too.
twice, but it didn't get me all the way
Yeah, I
there.
think that's why I'm like being a dick about it because this type of movie, the epitome of a sad movie,
Yeah.
slow, play on screen,
Mhm.
and I mean, it could not be. You are have a silver platter of sadness. It is
Right.
starting off.
Yeah.
I did shed
I
a
did.
tear, but I didn't
My
cry.
eyes got watery, but I have a thing where I stop myself because I don't want to even start, but there's movies that just break past that barrier. Um,
See, I like to cry because I think it feels good to cry. So I try to push it out,
oh, interesting.
and
If I was
I
trying to
did
push
push
that,
it
I
out.
would have
I
cried.
did. I did. I pushed out a couple, but I didn't want to have to push it that hard.
Yeah.
Usually, if I just push it, then the movie can take over for me, and then I'll just cry as long as I give it the first push. But then, I mean, I had to do all the pushing.
Okay.
I felt it, but you know,
Yeah, and I definitely have two things I want to talk about. First is Brendan, you did not have to do your son like that.
yeah, it doesn't even make sense. Do you know if there's more context to him saying that?
I think I like skimmed the article.
Because maybe there's just more to it
I
than.
really don't think that there's much more from like what I saw. It was pretty cut and dry. If you don't know, he
Yeah, repeat
said,
what it is.
let me get the exact quote, but also I want to hear your thoughts on this while I look up this quote. People were slamming Darren for putting a fat suit on Brendan.
What the fuck? It doesn't even
Yeah.
make sense. What
Yeah,
is
I
just
know.
supposed to walk around like without it? Like, what would the
I
movie
don't
be?
know if they wanted like a real over
Obese?
obese person or I
What
don't
did they
know.
want? What did they want?
They were just mad and he defended himself or something. And the thing is that there's moments in this where you see pictures of him before he gained the weight, and there's plenty of reasons why, you know, you would need a
Yes.
fat suit and someone who maybe is not actually in that position. Because obviously, watching the movie, you know that if you're in that position, it's hard to almost do anything.
Okay.
Okay, let me look up this stupid quote. You want to
Jesus.
talk with
Just
me?
like, come,
Okay. I found
thank God.
it. Brendan Fraser, my bad.
Uh-huh.
He definitely told everyone his name and how to pronounce it. My son helped me connect with my obese character in The Whale. Let's see. He reflected on living with his eldest son, Griffin, as he discussed the role. He just turned 20. He's a big kid. He's 6'5". He's got big hands and feet, a big body. I understand intimately what it is to be close to someone who lives with obesity.
Okay. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Griffin's cool with that and that's whatever,
Okay,
but
he also said that his son is the happiest person he knows and he has autism. And in quotes, because of the beauty of his spectrum, call it a disorder if you will. I disagree with you. He knows nothing of irony. He doesn't know what cynicism is. You can't insult him. He can't insult you. He's the happiest person and is, in my life and many others, also the manifestation of love.
Well, then maybe he didn't mean it like completely in a physical way. Because obviously the character was not far from that. He was
Yeah.
the like he's an optimist to its core. Like
To
you
its
could not
core.
be more of an optimist at all.
People were eating him up, spitting him out, and
Yeah.
he would have a smile like, I love the
Yeah,
honesty.
and then like Ellie's evil. She's not evil.
I actually laughed in that
Yeah. I
moment
mean it was
because
funny.
I think that's the thing. Why I didn't fully cry because they'd have these moments of so painful, like the sadness. And then there'd just be like little lighter moments.
Okay. What did you think of his friend Liz? Is that her name?
Mhm.
What do you think of her as a character, and what do you think of her acting
Oh, I love her so much and I
in both
empathize.
ways?
Yes, I empathize with that character so much because what what a good person she is.
Mhm. I
She did
know.
not judge him for his size, for his
She
sweating.
did. She did. She would lay her head on him.
She gave him this unconditional love that he really needed.
I know.
And she did love him and care about him so much. And she
So
took
much.
care of him. She wasn't going to judge him for, okay, his BP being 235 over 170. It was something crazy.
Mm.
And he was like, Liz. And she went and got him his um, tub of fried chicken
I
and then
know.
laid on him while he ate.
I know.
She was
I
just
know.
amazing. And I
She
think she really did
was.
play that character so well.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to ask about her acting, like your opinion of her acting, is because a lot of people have been saying that they're surprised that she's not in any talks of supporting actor like
And she
nominations.
should be. She
I
did a
agree.
great
I
job.
agree. And
Flawless to me.
yeah, and that character you can see all the things that she's feeling.
Oh
Like
my
even if
gosh,
it's
I
coming
know.
off as whatever. I don't like it's not even like a bitch. Like almost as like strict or whatever. You can
He has
see
this
clearly.
tough love, but also gives him his freedom to be himself. She's emotional and she comes from a place of protecting him
Yes, I know.
from
It's
other
so
people.
cute. It's so sweet.
It is pure.
Ugh.
And then the kind of plot twist of his lover being her brother.
Mhm.
It
I
got
know.
me.
It was really cute because it what's it called? They didn't almost reveal the extent of their relationship until like what halfway through the movie when we
Yeah.
found this out. So I mean, this could have just been a nurse or an old
Caretaker,
friend, like anything. And then yeah, she's obviously coming from a place of like this is
family.
deeper. Yeah.
It's really family.
Oh no,
I know.
enough. Okay. What did you think of the New Life missionary?
That was such a plot twist for me because I understand him being a part of this. I understand there's having to do with his daughter. It kind of develops her character and it kind of maybe it's just an example of kind of how the world is to these people without having to show him out in the world
Mhm.
because he was a fraud and
Yeah.
a
I mean
liar.
like kinda. Like he was, but he still was trying to do the same thing that he basically intended to
Right.
do.
But he was still so ignorant and coming from a place of having the audacity
Yeah.
to know someone's dying and to say their lover wasn't saved when they
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
actually that this is the reason why Alan's
yeah,
dead because
because of
of you.
you. the audacity. I wanted to slap him across his
I
face.
don't know if like there were any edits made to the screenplay,
Mhm.
um, or not, because this could just be this is how the play is written and
Yeah.
they rocked with that. But if there were edits, I wish they would have almost gone, or even just like the original screenplay. Then I
Mhm.
wish they would have gone a little bit deeper into like what's the main guy? What's Brendan Fraser? What's his name in it?
Um,
Charlie?
oh,
Was
yeah,
it
I
Charlie?
think so. That's really crazy that I already forgot. Can you
Okay.
believe that?
I wish they would have gone like because Charlie had this moment. It is Charlie, right?
Hold on. Let me just make sure. I'm sorry about that cuz I
Did you find it?
I'm looking right now. My phone's loading. Yes, it's
Okay.
Charlie.
So obviously when the missionary guy says all this shit,
Right.
Charlie kind of goes into this thing,
Mhm.
backs him into this corner, like he gets pissed
Right.
off. I wish his almost I guess it would be like a monologue was a little bit deeper. Like like I wish he went harder
Yeah.
because it felt like he was getting somewhere with like
Right.
how dare you.
Mhm.
And it felt like he was really like almost about to wake this person the fuck
Right.
up, but he like didn't. Do you know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
it's interesting because it switched from open up your eyes to you being so incorrect about this sexuality and religion thing to just talking about his weight and saying like you think I'm
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Which is fine. Like I get the kind of roller coaster of emotions,
Mhm.
but I do wish that he broke down this like sexuality thing a little harder for
Right.
this guy because he was so out of pocket
Mhm.
and incorrect for
Right.
one and two. I
Yeah.
just wish that was written in a little bit
I
harder.
know. It was kind of just looked over. I mean,
And I'm saying that because this movie it doesn't have like a homophobia problem. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so like if you are coming from that place of, you know, fucking normal, I guess,
Right.
then like uh this is a good platform is what I'm
Yeah.
saying to get a message like that out. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think so too. And I definitely agree with you. I do want to know what you think about the title being the whale in this essay because I was not expecting that at all. And I thought, wow, like as soon as it was at the very beginning, he started reading it and making the connection to the whale being Moby Dick, an essay on
Mhm.
it. I thought that was so cute. This essay was so
Yeah. I
cute.
mean, the essay was fucking great. Like the very beginning when he's reading it
Mhm.
to himself or after his heart attack, he's reading it again as he's
Right.
getting to bed. I literally thought that's a good essay.
I
I
know.
really felt that way. It was
Mhm.
cute. It was authentic.
And it was short, like
And it was
simple to
honest.
the
Like,
point.
yeah, it didn't have any fluff in it.
Right.
It was just like raw.
Yeah.
It was so simple and it was
Mhm.
so good. And when he was like, I just really like it. I got it. I was like,
Mhm.
totally. I really like it too.
And he relates to it.
Yeah, obviously I know. And obviously the end when you find out it's Ellie's
Mhm. From
and
8th grade.
I mean it's heartbreaking
I know.
and every word she reads, he tries to stand up because she made him do that fucking evil bullshit in the beginning of the movie. He busted his
Yeah.
ass.
Oh,
And there was like she read the words, the whale, and he like like really stood up like,
I
oh
know.
my god, it was so
I
sad.
think she said it's just some poor animal or something.
Yeah, like has no
Yeah.
emotions or something like that.
And he oh my gosh. It was just
And
crazy.
I mean, the whole thing was good. Even
Mhm.
though, like, I especially liked the yeah, the parts that were just describing whales
Yeah.
because I could tell that the author was avoiding talking about his own sad life.
Mhm. And relating it to herself, her own life
Yeah, the
at the
last
very
line
end.
of
Yeah.
this like made me think about my own life or something like that.
Yeah. It was so amazing, that little essay.
And actually, like, okay, I know in the beginning that I was like, yeah, I agree with you, like between 8.5 and 9. I remember when I left the theater thinking I would give it between like 8.5 and 9.5.
That's what I was originally gonna say, 8.5 to 9.5, but then I thought, in reality, would I give it 9.5? I don't know. Like, okay, the thing is it has all of the things that you want in a movie. Really, I mean, it has good acting, good directing. I don't know if it's a story that's lacking to me. Maybe it's because it's off of a play. And plays can be
100%.
kind of,
Yes.
anticlimactic, but it was. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, plays, well, okay, no. Like this is not in general for plays cuz plays there's varieties of
And there
plays
can be
and there's
they're
all
very
different
dramatic
stories.
sometimes and
Yeah, but this one in particular, it's primarily centered around characters and script,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I was gonna say like not as much of a story, but it is kind of like a short, full circle story, kinda.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's a week,
is.
you know.
It is, and you learn about his life kind of. I mean, not his whole life, but
You want to know my most heartbreaking scene? This is actually not the most, but this I've been thinking about it since we were driving
I
home.
feel like I know what you're gonna
I've
say.
been wincing in pain. You are you sure?
Maybe.
Does it have to do with pizza?
Oh no.
Okay, I didn't think you were thinking the same thing. When Dan says, "Hey,
Mhm.
I'm Dan."
Mhm.
"Oh, hey, Dan. I'm Charlie. I've been coming
Mhm.
here, a lot. I thought you should know my name." "Okay, have a good night."
Mhm.
Dan comes back. "All right, it's in the mailbox."
Right.
Leaves. Does this all fucking week. And then the day before he dies, this is his last
Mhm.
meal from what Gambino's like pizzeria, something like that.
Yeah. And this
Um,
is right after the big thing where Liz left and everybody left him.
yeah,
So it was
yeah,
already
that too.
really going into
Everyone
some
got
sort of
real
psychosis.
mad at him that day, and
Yeah.
he's like about to die. Like everyone
Yeah.
needs to get it together
He
right now.
still didn't care though. He was such an optimist.
No, he was, and like also he for one, he got it, but you could also see very clearly that these people weren't mad at him just to be mad. Like they didn't just hate him. They were just almost frustrated and they knew that he was like gonna die there, like getting kind of their last
They did all love him.
like weights on their backs
Mhm.
off, and he was okay with that. And they were also, you could tell they were afraid, like they were sad that he was not going to make it, and that he on some level did this to himself on
Well,
some
and
level.
Liz was really hurt.
Liz
She
was hurt, yeah.
and I understand why she was hurt. And
Yeah, but I want to say my wincing in pain
okay.
scene. So Dan comes. Dan says, all right, same deal,
Mhm.
money's in the mailbox. Yep. He sees Dan walk away as usual, as he does all the time, and he opens the door and Dan's there staring at him.
I know.
And Dan is freaked out. And
Horrified,
I mean,
actually
yeah,
disgusted.
he's fucked up. And Charlie does this thing like this shoulder shrug and this
Mhm.
range of emotions. in his face. And at first he just looks at the pizza and then he like sees Dan there.
I
And it is
know.
a nightmare because he's been like in hiding
I
on
know.
purpose from Dan, obviously, or else
From
he would have been opening
everyone.
the door. Like, yeah, he's so ashamed of himself. He's so
I know.
embarrassed. He doesn't want anyone to see this. And oh, it was horrible. Like it was just a nightmare to see.
Oh,
I felt so bad for my man
it
Charlie.
was. And to me, just the little things of like every single time something fell, he couldn't get it
Yeah.
because he couldn't bend down. He wouldn't be able to get back up, even if he tried. The key, he just wanted to see inside, and he eventually did, you know,
What did he? What he wanted to see inside? What?
his lover's room.
Um.
And he dropped that key under the thing, you know,
Yes.
just the
So
little things
just
like
to
that.
clarify, did Alan kill himself?
Yeah.
Oh, horrible.
Just horrible. He couldn't eat. And I think it's kind of ironic,
Okay.
that was brought up a lot.
One thing that I did think was interesting. I'm gonna understand that. Sure, this can probably be a controversial movie to an extent.
Yeah.
I'm not like, you know, I get like what someone could mean by that. However, there are so many movies on addictions to all sorts of drugs.
Right.
Addictions to alcohol, addictions to heroin,
Mhm.
crack meth. I mean, a lot. Like there's literally a lot of movies on all
Right.
those addictions.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's a sensitive subject to many people.
Right.
Many
I
people
think
especially.
everybody knows someone in their life who has passed away from
Right.
some
Or
sort
like
of
had
addiction.
or even has like a trauma related to it.
Right.
Like but that's not going to necessarily stop someone from making a movie about an alcoholic. Like that's
Right.
still going to happen, you know?
Right. Mm.
And this is an addiction on food. Like it
Right.
is. And it maybe even coming from similar places of trauma
Mhm.
or whatever,
It
you know?
almost always is.
Right. And so like on that level, it's like there's I mean there's
To me,
plenty of
it's
movies on
not
that. It's
controversial at all, but I definitely can see how it would be triggering for
triggering. Yeah,
people
that's
who
fair.
have maybe eating disorders or are maybe obese themselves.
Mhm.
I can 100% see that.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah. I was
Those
just gonna say that, like, it felt pretty clear, like, yes, there were they alluded to it kind of slyly a few times, but the whale wasn't okay. So, like, when we're going into this movie, we know it's called The Whale, and we
right.
know it's about this guy who's obese.
Right.
It sounds I'm nervous.
That's why
I mean,
I
it
was
sounds
so
nervous.
happy whenever the essay was about.
Right, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say, is that, like, watching the movie, it's not like everyone's like, "Ew, what a
It's not making fun
whale."
of people
Not
who
at all,
are
you know?
obese or making it a joke or
Mm-mm. It's all
making,
empathy
yeah, it is
and,
about this
like,
horrible life
understanding.
and how people have treat
Yeah, and if
these
anything's, like,
people.
the issue, it's just the fucking fucks judging on the
Right.
outside. Like, they're the
100%.
very obvious villains.
100%. He was so harmless.
Oh my god,
Really,
I know.
I mean, obviously he did leave his family, but that happens.
He did, and his, like not that it's, like, an excuse, but his scene where he's telling Ellie that because he,
Mhm.
like, explained it with the mom a different
Right.
way of, like, "I get it, and, like, I'm sorry,"
Mhm.
but when he's telling Ellie, it's not even just, like, "I get it, that was fucked up of me, and I'm sorry." It's I shouldn't have done that to you. Like,
Right.
know that I know that.
Right.
I was in love and I thought that I was making the right decision, but I wasn't
Right.
because I should not have left you
Mhm.
no matter what. And it was just, my heart
And
is
he did love
shattering.
her the whole time.
Oh,
He
yeah.
didn't, I mean, he did, and maybe in some selfish ways when the mom was saying don't
Fuck off.
contact us,
Right.
whatever.
He had this like almost freedom in life.
He did. He was off the hook for it and he still did care, but there was a part of him, obviously, that was okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, like
And that's the reality of
it
life,
it
honestly.
just is. And like, okay, you had an absent dad, but
Right.
remember that like even when Ellie was like, then why didn't you send us money? I did. Not just child support, actual money.
I
I
did.
did.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I have $125,000
Hmm. And if
here
you
for
think
you.
about it, I know, right? Ain't none of
And
us getting
and
that.
he tried to like get in touch with her all the time.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
like, yeah, he did end up giving up, which I'm sure was
But at the
selfish
same
thing, but
time, he kept her essay. And that was the thing that has been getting him through
like everything.
everything. He loved her. It was just a
And then
weird
he
situation. And obviously, he
obviously,
reclused himself after he started gaining weight, after his
oh
man
yeah.
died.
And I mean, he was embarrassed. He even said
He
to Ellie,
was.
like, who like look at me, who would want me in their life?
And it was right before he called her, he had found out, he really did only have like a week left. And
Yep,
I
and he
think he
called her
just
right the
said,
fuck
I
away.
don't care anymore. Like, I am going to be honest. I
Mhm.
do not care. I'm going to see my child.
What did you think, speaking of that, when he finally zoomed himself to his students? It's like, you've all been so honest with me. I finally have to be honest with you. His whole body, and then throw,
I thought
throw this stupid ass camera.
I
Fuck this.
thought
This was hell.
it was crazy because obviously we were expecting that scene, but then when he went to his whole body, even his feet,
I know, that was crazy,
it was
right? You didn't have
crazy.
to do that.
He did not
You
have to do
got the
that.
idea
We
just
knew.
from the oxygen in the like top
Come
half of
on.
your
Yeah,
body.
we
I
know.
mean, I can assume what the rest is.
And I did think the throwing it was amazing. I would have too. Bye.
Yeah, me too. I would hope to God that that shit is not still just like on and like on
Yeah.
my floor and you're hearing me like
Mhm.
try to get over there to turn it
Yeah.
off.
I need that motherfucker to be smashed
Dead
to
ass. And
bits.
I was worried that it wasn't because sometimes that it doesn't just he had to like pour water on it or something.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, thank God it turned the fuck off.
Mhm. What did you think? I know I'm going back to the fat suit, but I didn't want to mention this because, people had their opinions on even having a fat suit. What did you think about the fat suit itself? Did you feel like it was very accurate or do
I
you feel like it kind of sucked?
okay.
Like, I'm talking the shape, the
I know what you're talking
okay.
about. Um I think like I know what you're trying to say. Like I know where like I get exactly what you're trying to say. However, I would say confidently that the costume design team did a great job. I mean, it looks like a real fucking body.
I will give it to them. The skin and how it moved and stuff
Yeah.
was all very
The
real.
legs too.
Very real. Just the shape of the torso
I
was
know what you
throwing me off
mean.
because it looked like almost someone who was really overweight and then like lost
It was really
100.
low.
Yeah. And you could almost see like his smaller body underneath. And then it was like hanging off. That's all I wanted to say.
I
But
know
I
what
thought it
you're
was funny.
saying,
Like
but
I
I
thought it was
did think
funny.
it was good. It looked like I don't know, it felt like an accurate representation. I feel like.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. What did you think about his little bird friend?
Oh,
Did Ellie
precious.
knock off the plate?
I don't know who opened up that window and smashed it, the
I
plate.
think it was Ellie because I know that she went over to it at one point and I like didn't think much of it. And then the next time he goes to like
Hmm.
see it, it's on the ground. I mean,
It wasn't on the ground.
Ellie
It
was
was just the window was open like 2 inches and it was like somebody pounded their fist on it and broke it.
I think it was Ellie, yeah.
Rude.
Yeah, Ellie was
She was the complicated character, but she has a complicated life. And
mhm.
she's in high
And
school.
it's very clear that Like, yeah, okay, your dad is basically MIA for most of your
What
life.
you feel like is a complete deadbeat.
Yeah, and, like, I get it, but it was also very clear that her mom I don't know,
Absent
yeah, like, I don't
emotionally,
I don't know
physically.
how she's raising like, I don't know what's happening because you can have, like, in theory, a absent parent and, like, kinda be fine if,
I
like,
feel
your
like her
household's okay.
mom is more of the narcissist, alcoholic.
Yeah, like, her mom clearly had
Mm.
issues
Right.
in a
Which is
parenting
gonna
way.
make her have issues, especially when she comes from 8 years of her life. She's was 8 years old when her dad left.
Mhm.
Your life was great. Your mom
Right.
and your dad were in love. That you guys had money.
Yep.
Everything was great. To have that ripped away from you at 8 years old,
Mhm.
you're too aware, I think, at that point
Oh,
to
yeah.
really be
Mhm.
able to handle a teenage phase soon after that well, especially when
Yeah.
your mom becomes an alcoholic now and is emotionally distant and
You know what I thought was funny? When, her mom showed Charlie his Facebook post and then said, like, "Try not to take it to heart because I've made a few appearances
yeah.
on her Facebook
hmm
page." And I was just thinking of these pictures of her mom, like,
I
on
know.
her Facebook.
She's wild.
She is
She's
wild.
unhinged.
Yeah. She's okay, but I thought it was also so cute because, he obviously thinks she's this, like, brilliant, great
Mhm.
person. And when you do find out that that was her essay, you do know that she's, like, an intelligent, like, because this is a kid
Right.
who wrote this,
And
you
not
know?
only that, but whenever she leaves him or he leaves her and he says, "Write in this notebook, whatever." And he
Mhm.
comes back and he looks and it's just those 3 lines and I hate everyone. I'm not going to say the slur.
Yeah. And something else. Oh, this apartment stinks.
Yeah. And him process just kind of laughing at that and then realizing that it was a haiku.
Yeah. That was cute.
It was really cute because it did show that she still actually was
An intelligent woman.
a good writer. She's just, you know,
I know.
obviously I get it. I understand her saying fuck high school because
Oh, hell
obviously
yeah.
that's how I felt. um
What did you think of him saying, like, fuck your essays, fuck writing, just write something fucking honest for your final, like, lesson this year. And then he got
I
fired.
thought they were all little bitches.
Yeah, who
Whoever ratted him out.
no, dead
Let me make
ass
that clear because
because
some people did come back with these cute, honest things.
yeah, and let's remember that this isn't an elementary
This
school
is
class.
college. In college,
You're
they do
grown adults. Like
talk like that.
you're past 18. Like by law, you're an adult in
Right.
every state of America. How you can take that and
Be that much of a
be like
sensitive Sally.
seriously, like be that mad about it that you need to go use your little rat mouth on Charlie.
I know, and it's the
And he's
final
been
lesson.
such a good person
Honestly,
all this year.
if that was my English teacher and this was my last lesson and I just had to write something honest, thank God. Let me graduate.
Yeah.
Like, let
No,
me get
dead ass.
past
They
this
could
class.
even say like I hated every second of this class. And Charlie would have loved
I
that.
know.
He would have
He would
loved
have
it.
loved it, but you guys are
You're
snakes.
fucking snitchy ass bitches.
No, for real. 'Cause what? And you guys grow up.
Grow up and quit.
And he doesn't give a fuck that you guys got him fired. Cause
Um, one thing I did want to say, there's something about the directing style that is so good. I don't know,
what do you think
like,
about the square screen? I was gonna ask you.
it's the camera,
Yeah, the
and
camera.
I don't. It worked here, like I think
It
it
did.
did, and it didn't distract. It
Mhm.
I didn't even really think about it, like
I only
throughout the
thought about it
movie.
in the beginning, and I
Yeah,
think the trailer. I noticed it, obviously.
Yeah.
whenever we watched the trailers.
But even like I don't know if it's the camera or what, but I remember it sticking out to me extra hard when Liz was talking with the missionary. She was like having a
Mhm.
smoke. And this scene, the very specific angle of where this camera is, it's not a close up,
Mhm.
it's not directly right in
Yeah.
your face. It all of them were like slightly to the
Yeah.
side. And it was it almost felt like each of these are like pictures,
Yeah.
like really good ones that are
Mhm.
heavy, they're loaded,
Yeah.
and there's like sadness behind all of them.
Yeah.
If this was just a still of Liz
Mhm.
and this was like on the wall, I
Right.
would be like, who and like what's she going through? Like,
Right.
what is she thinking right now? And I thought it was very attractive aesthetically,
Yeah. It was
like 100%.
definitely carried a lot of the look of the film, I think, obviously.
Um,
It was so good in so many ways, just how each character was
yeah,
so layered and so authentic and real to real life. It wasn't
there were times when I felt
fake
like
at all.
10 out of 10. Like I really did.
Mhm.
What did you think of when he was dying and his feet like lifted off into the afterlife, basically, and he was like at the beach? I'm gonna tell you what I thought really quick.
Okay.
Um,
I love that you asked me a question and say, "Let me
because
answer it
okay, the
first."
only reason I'm answering it first is because I want you to know exactly what I meant by that question. Because I don't know if I
Okay.
worded it well enough. What I felt about it was as she's reading her essay, and he takes his step, and then it's his step in the beach from his like best memory, and then he's like back in
Mhm.
reality. He takes his other step. When he took his first step and he was like stepping in the sand, it started to get really emotional, like
Right.
that scene.
It did.
But then, like when he like literally like alien gets sucked
Yeah,
up,
he
it
did.
took the like, do you know what I'm saying? The
The
like
sadness.
a little bit. It was just a little bit cheesy to
Okay,
me.
yeah, I understand that. I did think it was a tad bit cheesy. I think that obviously it would be heartbreaking if instead of him lifting up and ascending into the white of heaven, that he felt his knees, which in reality is probably what happened, and died. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That would have been really just, oh my gosh. And I think it was just trying to say that, to be honest,
I
he
think
did,
like
it was his final moment of like freedom, I think, of just, you know,
no,
dying.
yeah. I it's just like okay, because we talked about how we kept getting close to our
Hmm.
crying, and it almost like if he took like more steps in the sand or something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I would have been like, oh my god, this is horrible. Like I'm slowly
Hmm.
watching him like die.
Hmm.
And then they showed him at the beach with his daughter
Yeah.
really briefly,
Hmm.
and it ended like maybe like 2 seconds,
Yeah.
which you didn't necessarily need that to be longer. Like I got the idea.
Yeah.
You showed this memory earlier. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I don't know if I would tweak it. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to like ask your opinion of,
Yeah. I
cuz it
do.
felt like that should have made me really crush me cuz she's reading this essay and
I
he's
think it would
dying.
have crushed you if they showed him just die in front of her and her reaction, her emotions, and
You know what I think it is? I think that since I knew that this is Darren Aronofsky, who will
mhm,
go balls to the wall
right.
with whatever the
Mhm.
fuck, I'm almost expecting this zoom out shot of him laying on the ground with like
Yeah.
his eyes open and like something playing. I'm
Yeah.
like expecting that, and I'm expecting to hurt from seeing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
I
wonder if
think
there's a
he didn't
director's
want
cut.
to show that. I mean, that the part of the film I feel like is not almost
Okay, so if you feel like that the director did not mean that, that wasn't the message of the movie. What do you think the message of the movie was?
What do you think the message of the movie
Oh, I asked
was?
you first.
Okay. Um, I think it's really just about probably empathy for other people, and obviously there's some lessons about religious abuse, and
Mhm.
obviously just treating people as people, and how certain people are just not treated as people, they're treated as animals based
Oh,
on whatever it may be.
yeah.
And honesty, I think, is a big theme.
You know what you sound like? I mean, I loved your answer. I thought it was
Okay,
great.
really?
Yep. But you know those like TikToks when they like buy everyone's food at McDonald's or whatever, or like hand out money, and they're like, "What's your message to the world?" They're like, "Honesty, love, compassion."
Yeah, that's how I feel truly, because you see how much of a lack of all those things he has in his life. I mean, except for Liz, and how much he gives of that, and how much he doesn't even care. He just loves honesty. He loves,
I want to say something else. I think my issue is seriously with the ending, which it's not bad, but like again, I almost want it to be shaken to my core. But
mhm,
like I said, even if I saw fully his dead body, I mean, I'm shook for one. But even if you showed me like Liz outside, like a last shot of her, like knowing
yeah,
that he's like
I know.
either dead upstairs or anything, like
I
I think
know.
all like anything like those things, I think it would have just hit me harder.
You do love a really concluded, complete ending, and I think it is complete and concluded, obviously, but you are a sucker for maybe wanting that funeral scene or like
I
somehow.
want to see Ellie grown up, Ellie with her writing career. How
Yeah.
is she doing?
Um, you want a whale part too.
Yeah. Yeah, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you like understand how
No, I
that like if
understand.
those things happened, I would be trembling out of this
Yeah.
theater. I'd be collapsed. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, Charlie, you know?
Yeah. But I don't
I
know
really,
if
I think I wanted that.
I'm just not sure if the purpose of this movie was just to make you sad, make you
Yeah.
cry. I think there was just so much more that this had for it.
But if it did have that, it did make me sad and cry. I still would have gotten all of those empathy
Yeah,
messages throughout it.
I know. Maybe that wasn't the point, because if we're just looking at his life,
Yeah.
if this was a real person, and maybe it is written on a real person, I don't know.
Oh, that makes
If
it
it
sweeter.
is, would he have wanted the end, because he was such an optimist, and like
Right.
he wouldn't maybe want his dead body
But
shown as like just
hypothetically,
like a
if it's
shocking last scene, like
yeah.
for shock value to
All
get
right.
that
I mean, if
reaction,
it was based on a real person, totally.
which
If
we don't know.
if you don't know, but if hypothetically it's fiction, I just think it would have slapped me harder. I think it would have slapped me to sleep,
I know.
which is fine.
I
And
don't know. I
obviously
don't know if I'd
Darren's one of
want
my
to
favorite
see.
directors, but
Okay, the thing is, even if they didn't show the dead body and they
I really
just
just want
like
a
at
shot
the
of
very
Liz.
end, it
Yeah.
just like instead of the white light
Mhm.
and the feet lifting,
Mhm.
it just went black. That would have made you mad.
Yeah.
Really mad, even though you know, even though you know. But even now you're still mad because it's still not concluded. But it is concluded.
No, I didn't say it's not concluded. I just wanted we
It's
were
not concluded enough
driving
for
to the
you.
theater. We were driving to the theater, and I asked you if you were excited, and I asked you, "Are you ready to cry?" You're like, "No, I don't want to cry." I said, "I do. I
You
want to
did.
cry." So I think I was just itching for.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a movie in a
I
long
think you
time
were
that has
I
made
think
me
you
like
were
really
trying
cry.
to force it out because I didn't want to cry and I started to get emotional in scenes. And if I was trying to force one out, I definitely would have. But I think
No, I
you
mean,
were
some of the scenes
searching.
were so emotional, and they did make me. I'm just saying, like, I want to have to almost pause the movie, like,
Oh
invisibly,
gosh.
because I need to gather myself. Like, oh, here's the Kleenex in the Hoover. Like, they should be
Yeah.
passing it out at the door. Like, know what
Yeah.
you're going into. That's what I
Well.
was itching for. That's just
Uh,
me, though. That's just me. I
yeah.
don't know why I wanted that, but
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
Charlie wouldn't have wanted that. He wouldn't have wanted you to cry at his story.
Alright, well, not everything's fucking about Charlie,
Yeah, it
okay?
is.
No, it's not.
It's about him.
Now it's about me.
Everything. Anyways, I'm
Anyways,
gonna cut that part
yeah,
out.
I think that there was, like, something that I wanted to say when I was thinking or when I was watching the movie, and I've been trying to think of it this entire podcast,
Really?
and I haven't, so I think it's gone.
Um, do you know what one scene just made me so sad?
Hmm.
This is just it's so random, but the choking scene.
Is it because you choked and you, like, know what that feels like
I've
or
choked a
whatever?
few times. No, but the fear of Liz and crying and saying, "Fuck you." She
Oh.
like a normal person, and then she felt bad. She's like, "I almost saw you dead. Like, you almost died." It was so sad. Just poor Liz.
Yeah, and his meatball sub looked fire. I don't
I
know if
knew
you
you were
noticed
gonna.
that, but
I was really thinking
I
about it
was
when he was
thinking
eating
like
that.
you did too. You thought it looked good.
I didn't necessarily. I was just thinking about it. I was like, "Damn, that looks like a big meatball sub," and it was
It didn't just look good.
to
I
me, it
mean,
looked
big.
so big and like
It
I
looked
was thinking
big,
those are
yeah.
huge bites.
Yes, but the bread was like thick. It looked toasted perfectly.
I
It
know.
looked
I was
hot.
thinking it looked like it was a straight baguette, like loaf.
Oh, my poor Charlie eating just good food. Like it's just that shit looks so good. Almost
He
everything he ate looked
it was
pretty
so
good.
sad the way that he would gorge.
Okay, yeah, that is what I was just about to say. One thing that
He
we
wouldn't even
didn't
like
touch on.
savor it almost. He was just shoving it down.
Yeah. I mean, he was doing it to like cope.
I feel
It
like
wasn't,
it was almost like self-harming
yeah,
in
definitely,
certain
without a
point
doubt.
at certain points when he would binge.
Yeah, totally.
It was really sad to me.
One part we didn't talk about was his like I'm just gonna kill myself with this food.
Yeah.
His complete spiral into eating everything in his house. I think
Pizza,
it's
that
when
was
he
the
saw Dan.
yeah, that's
Dan. Like, do you know what your look did?
I know. But everything before that, you know.
No, of course,
And
but
then
like
that
that really sent him. He was putting chips on bread with no
grape
condiment and
jelly
then jelly on like it was just I want anything that will kill
pizza
me.
with sandwich meat,
And then like
lunch
two
meat,
slices of pizza at a time, like stacked on top of each
ranch.
other. Hmm.
Oh, he went to town.
He did, but like it was sad because obviously it's not like he was like, okay, I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna eat all of like my favorite foods or just eat things that are good and
Right.
I'm just gonna die. Fuck it. It was things that you don't put together. Like it was I want to
No,
kill myself
it
now.
was like I'm gonna eat everything in my house because I am done. And I'd rather it just happen quick. Give me a heart attack, something real quick. Oh, and then the next day when his lips were white and purple because it was his last day. Oh, it was so sad. What did you think? We didn't really talk about this. What did you think of the scene where the his ex-wife, it was just them and she wanted to hear his wheezing and
What do you mean what I think? What did
she
you
laid
think?
on him and do you think she's still in love with him?
Yeah.
Big time?
There's something that it gave me. Um
I feel bad for her. I mean, I have empathy for her situation because she still loves him so much. Even
I know what it gave me.
okay,
Spoiler alert. Skip for 30 seconds starting now. in American Horror Story NYC.
Pause right now. Let me give you that second.
Yes, and now skip 30 more
We
seconds.
never even finished NYC.
Okay, regardless, do you
Okay.
remember the girl who's in most of the seasons, that blonde girl? And she had that husband who is now married to Gio. He's the cop.
Okay.
And she was still like in love with
Yeah.
him. And he
Mhm.
was like, oh, like you're
Right.
like my friend, but like I
Mhm.
love Gio. It gave me that. Like she's
Yeah.
still like she's like hoping or something that like somehow maybe they can rekindle like
She just I obviously, yeah. They she still loves him, and just her still loving him to the point of her saying, "Please just go to the hospital." Like, I still want you to be alive. I still want you to She didn't care about getting his money because obviously the money would probably go to her
mhm.
just because his
Yeah, she's
daughter's 16,
underage. Yeah.
unless it's like written in a will that's on a trust fund, but it's not. So she did want him to stay alive, and she did love him. All these people really did love him in a way.
Mm, I know.
They couldn't
They
show
all
it
did.
except for Liz.
Yeah, Liz showed it. Liz showed it. And I think it's mostly for hers because she's just went through the death of her brother and so also knows what sacrifices happen when you don't show love to someone who
Yeah.
can die. And so she's almost like
Mhm.
not making that mistake again.
I know she's going through so much pain. I can't get over Liz.
Liz needs a nomination and that's just all there
She
is to
does.
it. That's all there is
Who
to
is
it.
that actor? And I think she is the same actor in
That other movie?
that new movie.
Oh, my phone's dead. I don't know.
Hold on. I just want to give
Her
um
credit
her
where
shout
credit
out.
is due.
The whole thing.
Yeah, I think she is the actor in that new movie with Michelle Williams.
Well, shout out to her. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see that movie.
Really? Anyway. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Is there anything else that is sticking in your mind?
I feel like that was it. I feel like it was good.
Did you keep your score?
I think so.
I think
Oh
so
wait, let me
too.
read off the scores really quick. Last hurrah,
Okay.
because it got lower than what we rated it. So it got an 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I feel like is kind
Mm,
of low,
it is low.
and 3.7 out of 5 on Letterboxd. But 94% of Google users liked this movie. So,
It's it's something. I
yeah,
mean, I think it was good. I really do. I think it was really good.
I do think it was really good. Um, Probably boring for some people. I feel like that's the only thing.
Mm.
But it was a good movie.
It was partially carried by really good acting. I don't know. I mean, honestly, a lot of all the areas I thought directing was good, script was good. So it was just good. I liked it.
All right. Well,